I would suggest that it's the instant that you actually allow something to be just the way it is, it gives rise to a tremendous sense of connectedness, a sense of well-being, and a natural and spontaneous sense of compassion and love. That's just what happens. That's what comes out of that. The abstract idea of to just let everything be the way it is, the abstract idea of that can seem quite contrary. Right? It can seem to be something that's quite cut off and uncaring, and you just wouldn't participate in the world and all that. But of course, that's just the idea. And people are terrified of that idea. But essentially, meditation is kind of just one expression. It's almost a metaphor for just allowing everything to be just the way it is. Just allow it to be. Why would you do that? There's only one reason that you would allow everything to be just the way it is in this moment. There's only one reason, by the way, that I could give you that's rational, which is that it is the way it is right now. That's the reason why. It's not abstract. It's not a great philosophy, isn't it? It doesn't promise you anything in the future. The only reason that you would allow this moment to be the way it is because that's the way it is. And when you go contrary to the way it is, you upset yourself. And when you get upset, you start upsetting the people around you. So there's no deeper philosophical reason here than we're just coming into a harmony with life. Of course, in order to come into that harmony, in order to let even a moment, just a moment, be completely the way that moment is, in order to do that, we have to, for that moment, stop living in our abstractions. Our abstract ideas about things, about how things could be, about how things should be. All of that. We have to stop living in that abstracted reality, which means literally an internal dream space, and come back into the concrete isness of the world and your own experience. That is essentially what meditation is. So when you sit in a chair or however you sit, and it's quiet, and you don't have to do anything, then you get to see, okay, am I actually allowing this moment to be the way it is? It doesn't matter how it is. You could feel upset. Your mind could be busy. Your mind could be quiet. You could feel very settled and grounded. You could feel somewhat fidgety. But when you sit down, you start to actually experience your fundamental relationship with life. That's what meditation shows you. It shows you very quickly, what's my relationship to life, to my experience? Am I constantly pushing against it? Am I trying to change it and control it? And how is that working out for me? Does that actually get me what I think it will get me, which is, do I get more peace and a sense of well-being? Am I more loving? Am I more compassionate? Am I more happy when I'm pushing against my experience and the experience of the world all the time? How's that working out? Meditation will show you your relationship with life. If you want to see it, you see. But most people when they sit down to meditate, they get so focused on their agenda, which means this is what I want to happen when I sit. I want it to feel this way, and I want to experience this, that they never see that all they're doing is living out their preconceived agenda. So in a certain sense, all they're doing is enhancing their adversarial relationship with life. That's all. They're just enhancing it. If I focus on this thing really hard, you see, then I can start to experience what I want. And that's very selfless and loving of me. So it shows you the relationship, your relationship with life. And one should never, even if you see, my God, I'm controlling, I want to change my experience, I don't want to be experiencing what I'm experiencing, I'm upset with life, I don't want it to be the way that it is. You see all that kind of stuff. That's fine. Even if you feel that way on a particular day, the question is can you just see it? Without judging it, without making yourself wrong, even if you are struggling. Even if you are trying to change it, can you just see it? Can you ask yourself, how's this working out for me? Because at the end of the day, that's all that's relevant, isn't it? How's this working out? Is it giving me what I think it will give me? To have this relationship with life where I'm struggling, trying to control, trying to mold it to what I want it to be, is this making me happy? This is what I find it's a vital ingredient, because you can't change something just because somebody says you can change it, can you? You can't even change it because you want to change it necessarily. Things start to change when you see that certain ways that your relationships, a way that you're moving in life or moving in your own self, when you start to see for yourself, it's not actually working out. Not getting you what you want, in other words. That maybe the relationship with life that you were taught is the very kind of relationship that's causing the problem.